Hi, I'm Bill Heath, Superintendent of Schools of Lincoln County. I'd like to share with you today our plans for returning to school after Christmas vacation, which is coming up in the next few days. We have worked diligently on our plans. We've worked with our administrators. We have talked about what can we improve from our reaction and our response to the pandemic in regard to teaching and learning over the first semester. And we'd like to share our plans for today. I'd like to share the plans for January 4th through January 8th with you. Our goal, as we stated back in August, and it continues to be our goal, is to offer as many in-person days as possible for our students to be in front of the teacher, because we feel like there's no better way to teach a child than to have them in front of a high-quality teacher as many days as possible. So that continues to be our goal. However, COVID-19 and the data that I'm going to present to you in a moment, you'll see this, that COVID-19 is a lot different now in our community here in Lincoln County than it was back in August. So we are having to make some adjustments as we move forward. The essential questions that we would like to answer before we return to school on January 4th is, number one, how can we make a decision today, 20 days prior to January 4th, in regard to what we will be doing the week of January 4th and going forward after that. So, how do we communicate now what our return to school will be in January? Essential question number one. Essential questions number 2 and 3 are very, very related to each other. Essential question number 2 we'd like to answer for you is, how do we meet the needs of our students who do not have internet access when we go virtual in the future? We have found that is one of the issues that we and our students and teachers have been struggling with throughout the first semester this year. The third essential question is, what can Lincoln County schools do going forward to improve and enhance teaching and learning when we do go virtual in the future? So that's the questions that we'll be looking at today. For sure, in the next few moments, I'll be answering essential question number 1, and I will talk a little bit about essential questions 2 and 3 going forward. To start with, though, we want to take a look at our current data in regard to COVID-19 in our county, in our community, and also within our school system. So you get an idea of what we're dealing with within our schools and within our community. This is as of yesterday, which was December 14th. And this is the actual data. It's taken from a website, covidactnow.org, which is run by a nonprofit, a couple of hospitals that provide this data for citizens. The 3 metrics that we're going to look at, number 1 is the daily cases per 100,000 residents. And then we'll look at the infection rate and the positive test rate. And as you look at this chart, you'll see the actual data, the daily cases per 100,000 residents in Lincoln County is 204.5. Now you might say, well, what does that mean? What does that mean compared to other counties in Tennessee? Well, the middle of this chart shows where that ranks among the 95 counties in Tennessee, and that is the highest for all 95 counties in Tennessee. And over the last week and a half, we have been hovering right there at the highest level or the next to highest level almost on a daily basis. So, and then you might think, well, how does that compare nationwide? Well, this organization looks at 3,200 counties across the nation, and Lincoln County currently has the 42nd highest per capita daily cases per 100,000 residents across the nation. So we're ranked 42nd out of 3,200, or in Tennessee we're number 1 out of 95. That's not good data. We are struggling with that. The infection rate, 1.23. Well, how does that compare? Among the 95 counties in Tennessee, our infection rate is the 6th highest currently. And across the nation, we're 97th out of the 3,200 counties. Positive test rate, 40.40% is our current positive test rate. That is, again, is the highest in the state of Tennessee, 51st highest across the nation. So as you can see, like I mentioned earlier, the COVID-19 that we're preparing for now and moving forward in January when we return to school is a lot different than what we were preparing for back in June and July for the opening of school in August. Now, if you want to look at our district totals within our school system, this data is something we put out on our webpage every Monday. It's also something we report to the State Department, and the state of Tennessee, the Department of Education, also publishes this data every week. For privacy issues, any situation where there is less than 5 cases, you'll see, as you see on this graph, the symbol less than and less than 5. So as you can see, if just looking from left to right at the bottom for the district total, that's what I like to highlight for you. The week before Thanksgiving, our cases had started to rise between fall break and Thanksgiving, but on the week before Thanksgiving, we reported 10 positive student cases in our county and 6 positive adult cases, and we're referring to the adults that work for us. So you can see those numbers, 16 in all, 10 students, 6 adults. Now fast forward to after Thanksgiving. We have seen a tremendous spike since Thanksgiving. The week after Thanksgiving, we reported 28 student cases and 11 positive adult cases in our school system. So a total of 39 cases. And then the following week, which would have been last week's data, 24 positive student cases and 10 positive adult cases. So you can see the spike. The numbers have sort of doubled over a 2-week period of time, and they continue to do so. So we're really worried about what that will look like on January 4th when we return. The one thing I can assure you is we do not have a crystal ball. We can't predict 20 days out. If you had looked at 20 days prior to today, the number of cases per 100,000 residents was 67. And today it's 204, like I showed you on the previous slide. That's more than triple. And we don't think that's going to be the case between now and January 4th, but we sure hope not, but we can't predict that. We have no idea. 20 days ago, we could not have predicted where we are today. So with all of that said, we have to really make plans today for the week of January 4th. And that's what we want to communicate out with you. So as you can see here on this slide, these are our plans for January 4th through January 8th. We're trying to get this information to you today because we know parents will have to work out child care situations, daycare situations for their children, and you need to know as soon as possible. So this is the January 4th through the 8th schedule. On Monday, January 4th, only students whose last names begin with A through K will be attending school. Half of our students. That will allow extra social distancing, extra health precautions to take place, and that will allow us to begin to make sure we know exactly what our numbers are in regard to COVID-19 beginning in January. On Tuesday, January 5th, students whose last names begin with L through Z will attend school. And we'll run buses on both Monday and Tuesday. It'll be just like a regular school day, except we'll have approximately half the students there. We hope this will give us an opportunity to really evaluate the status at that time. Because on Wednesday through Friday, we're going to ask that no students report to school. So that's January 6th, 7th, and 8th. No students should report to school. Except at Lincoln County High School, the students who have not completed their end-of-course state-mandated testing. We'll get more information out to those individuals and about that later on, but that would be the only students that would come to school on January 6th, 7th, and 8th. As for expectations of students during that time, we are going to ask our students to treat that like weather days or stockpile days. We're not going to send assignments home. Students who attend on Monday will have a regular school day on Monday and no assignments for Tuesday through Friday. Students who attend on Tuesday we'll have a regular school day for Tuesday, no assignments Wednesday through Friday. And on Wednesday, as early as possible on Wednesday morning, we will announce the operational plans for January 11th and forward after that. And that announcement will be based on the COVID-19 numbers and its impact on us and on our community at that time. Again, no crystal ball. We can't make a projection right now on what that would be. But we do want you to know that there are several options, and I would like to review some of the options that we have used this first semester, as well as some of the things that we've been discussing in order to address those essential questions, numbers 2 and 3, that I talked about a few minutes ago. This slide basically says what I just told you about decisions for January 11th. We do want to address the essential questions, numbers 2 and 3. How do we address the needs of those students who do not have internet access? And how do we enhance and improve the teaching and learning that happens when we are virtual? And with that, I would like for you to know that there are some additional options that we haven't implemented yet, and or previously. The high school will have actually one more option than our pre-K through 8 schools, but I want to reiterate as many times as possible to you, parents, students, you can choose virtual at any time. If you feel it's being in person is not safe, or you feel any of these options I'm going to present to you here in a moment are not safe for you and your child, please choose that virtual option. You have that authority as a parent to do that. So here are the options going forward. First, I'll start over on the left side with our pre-K through 8 schools. Of course, our goal is to be in person, so that's the number one option. That's what we want to be, in person as many days as possible. We now have a modified virtual that is a new option for us. We will be sending out a video and more information in the next couple of days to detail that, but just to give you a little bit of a hint of what a modified virtual looks like. There will be a couple of days during the week in which students will be allowed to come to school for help, not as a normal school day, but to come to school for help. There will be one day a week in which we'll run buses, and anybody who does not have internet access can come to school that day, and we'll be downloading videos of our teachers. And what the regular schedule will look like for students is each school will publish a schedule if we're on a modified virtual, and there will be a daily schedule for students that have internet access. Don't want to get into any more details on that because we'll have a much more detailed video and explanation coming in the next couple of days. The third option there is full virtual, which is what you experienced when we were virtual in the first semester. Again, parents may choose to have the student to be full virtual at any times if either one of those other options are not of your choosing. And again, now for Lincoln County High School, what's different? The high school staff and staff and administration has really dug into a schedule very similar to a hybrid schedule that we had introduced at one point back in the summer. That was no longer part of our full plans. We're calling this the AB schedule. Again, a lot more detail coming in the next couple of days on video and information that we'll send out. But it will be a schedule in which half the students will be there at any point in time. And that would be to create a situation where there's more safety, there's more health safety for us, and the number of students being quarantined when someone has to be quarantined would be greatly reduced, which would result in more kids having in person more days than we experienced over the last 3 or 4 weeks. So those are the options going forward. Please look for more details in the next few days on the AB schedule at the high school and the modified virtual for both of those. To summarize, I want to revisit our essential questions. Essential question number 1, how do we communicate now for the return on January 4th? Well, see our plan. We just put that, that's part of this presentation. January 4th, half of our kids will be here. January 5th, the other half, and the 6th through the 8th. We will make plans going forward, and students will not have any assignments on those days. On Wednesday, January 6th, we will announce our plans for January 11th onward. Essential question number 2, how do we meet the needs of our students who do not have internet access? And essential question number 3, what can we do going forward to improve and enhance teaching and learning? Both of those will be answered as we present the modified virtual to you and the AP schedule to you over the next few days. So that takes us to the end of this presentation. Please take the precautions that you need to take as a family, and I want to wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas.